guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're watching BookedonCharity. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you the list of books on my June TBR. I have already placed the books on my TBR card. I do have quite a number of books to share with you guys because I'm trying to give myself as many options as possible. I am in a big reading mood, however, I don't know which genres I'm gonna be leaning towards. For the past, I feel like 2 months, I've just been picking books on a whim and just letting my feelings guide me, and it's kind of like helped me stay out of a slump. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the video. Firstly, I'm gonna mention a book that I had already started. I mean, it's the 8th of June today, so I had already selected a few books, or know of a few books that I wanted to read. Firstly, it's The Priory of the Orange Tree, and I actually finished reading this morning, so watch out for my review on my Instagram, and I will also have a reading vlog coming up for it probably in the next 2 weeks or so. So yeah, this is the first book of the month, and I just finished reading it. It was pretty good. I think I'm leaning more towards like a 4-star rating for it. So yeah, this is the first book. The second book is Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I've already also started on this book. If you guys are following me on my Instagram, you will know that I am hosting a read along for this book. I'm having my first catch up tomorrow evening. I still have to put up a post for it, but I'm currently on page 196, and like I'm way ahead. It got pretty good that I couldn't stop myself, and I had to remember, hey, you need to read kind of like on a schedule, and you've gone way beyond what you're supposed to, and I'm like way past the middle point. So I've put this book down so that I can finish Priory, and now I actually have to pick my next read, but I think I have a good idea of what that's going to be, and I think I'm leaning towards finishing this book, Kills by Raven Guran. This is a YA thriller about a girl named Jess who happens to go to this very prestigious school. She is on a scholarship, and she's a person of color, and essentially she's a minority as well at the school. And in the school, they kind of like force everybody to do kind of like an additional subject, and for her it was kind of like creative arts type thing, and she ends up writing this short story for this class, and the short story happens to be a thriller. And then there's a murder happening in the school, and this murder was carried out in the exact same way that she wrote in her thriller. So obviously she's kind of like suspect number 1, but she's also trying to figure out who did this. Is somebody trying to plant this on her? And she's essentially also in danger because the perpetrator sent her a message saying, hey, you know, thank you so much for the inspiration to carry out this murder, and now she feels like she needs to like kind of solve this before she is next. So it's pretty good. I had to put it down to pick up other books, but I cannot wait to get back to it. I think I had just gotten over I think I'm on page 124 on chapter 14. So yeah, really interested in this one. Definitely reading this one because it's going to be my next read. And then in the spirit of trying to close open books, I do have a couple of books that I had started in the previous 3 to 4 months that I am trying to finish so that I can reduce my currently reading list because it's starting to get a little bit crazy. So I've got The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, and this is the first book in the Miss One trilogy. I was actually enjoying this. I cannot tell you the reason that I put it down. It's probably maybe because I had other books that I needed to pick up, and this was not really a priority. So I'm looking forward to getting back into the story before I start to forget absolutely everything and have to go back to the beginning. But I feel like I have a good sense of what's still going on. I still understand the magic system of it, so looking forward to picking this one up. And then I have added The Castle of Tangled Magic by Sophie Anderson. This is a middle grade, and I don't know where I got to. Like, my bookmark is on page 88, but I feel like I've read a little bit more of this. I'll have to check with my Goodreads where I ended up, because my daughter has a tendency of taking out my bookmarks, so I kind of use Goodreads and Storygraph to remind me where I am in each book. But I want to essentially get to finishing this book, because I have had it open for quite a bit, and it's a fast read. I must say it wasn't pulling me or as intriguing in the first part of the book, so I hope that from where I pick up it's gonna get much better. I do enjoy, or I have enjoyed reading from Sophie Anderson before. She's the author of The House of the Chicken Legs, and it was absolutely fantastic, so I hope that this one will also prove to be fantastic. And then for the final book that I've got open, I've got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. This one I keep kind of like adding it onto my monthly TBRs, because it is actually pretty good. I've read and finished part 1. It was so good, it was so immersive, but at the same time very emotional. And I've been in a space in the past probably 2 months or so where I could not handle reading anything emotional. I was just gonna break myself apart, so I decided to put it down for when I am eventually ready to and strong enough to pick it up. And I don't know if June is going to be that month. It didn't start off great for me because I've been sick, and I'm finally starting to feel better and try to get back into the groove of things. So I don't know how the month is gonna pan out, so we'll have to see if I end up actually, wanting to pick up Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, because I think it's really good. And then for books that I actually haven't opened up yet, but I feel like I might be in the mood for and inclined to read, I've got a thriller, because yes, I am now a thriller girl, and I always need to have a thriller in my book stack for the month. And I now have kind of like YA and adult, because I do prefer adult thrillers over YA, but there are some really good YA ones. So I've got Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. Is it Gillian or is it Gillian? I feel like I wanna say Gillian Flynn. And apparently it's a series on HBO. So I don't know if it's still called Sharp Objects, because I know sometimes in series they rename. Well, I guess it's still Sharp Objects. Maybe I must check it out after I'm done reading it. But I've heard good things about this one, and it looks like it's gonna be quite a fast read. I think after reading my YA thriller, I'm gonna probably switch to a fantasy, and then I would wanna come back to this one. So I'm looking forward to this. I have no idea what the synopsis of the book is, and that's exactly how I want to go into it. And then I've got Loath to Love You by Ellie Hazelwood. I've had this on my May TBR as well, but never got the chance to get to it. So this is a collection of short stories, and it is a romance. It's got 3 short stories in particular, and I think each of them are between like 100 to 120 pages, and I'm looking forward to it. I've read a bit of the synopsis, and it sounds like it might be good. I don't know if you guys know me and you've been on this channel for a while, you know that I don't particularly prioritize romance, especially standalone contemporary romance. I do enjoy a lot of romance in fantasy, so we'll see how this one goes. I'm very picky when it comes to contemporary romance, but I don't know, something makes me feel like I might enjoy this one, so looking forward to it. And then I've got book 2 of the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy, and this is called Clint. I've read Guilds, I think about 2 months ago, and I feel like it's high time that I continue with the series before I start to forget what happened. So this series reads quite fast. I gave the first book like a 4-star rating. I think it was a good enough start to a series, but I'm looking for like more action in book 2. The way that they gave us like the clip of like a little snippet, not a clip, but a little snippet of book 2 from book 1. It wasn't very enticing to me. Maybe that's the reason why I didn't pick this one up immediately, but I feel like I'm ready now to pick it up. So yeah, looking forward to finally reading Glen. And then I'm going to attempt to get into like some high stakes this month. Well, I already did with The Priory of the Orange Tree, but more on kind of like the sci-fi fantasy realm. I want to finally pick up Gideon the Ninth by Tasmin Muir. I have heard absolutely fantastic things about this one. I feel like my only reason for not picking it up sooner is because I felt intimidated about how great people like rave about this book, and now I'm just like, I want to read it, and I'm feeling a little bit intimidated by the magic system and necromancy because I don't know a lot about it. But like in hindsight, I don't know a lot about the magic systems that I read about in other books, and the more I read fantasy and sci-fi, I think the more comfortable I'm getting. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finally picking this one up. There is an audio of this book also available on SCRIBD, which is great, and I'm looking forward to pairing the two. I hope the narration is really good, because that could really make or break the story, and I might have, like, if it's bad, I will just have to drop the audiobook for the physical anyway. So yeah, looking forward to picking this one up. And then the next one is Silver in the Bone. I read the first chapter of this book, I think the previous month, when I was trying to figure out what to read, and it sounded absolutely intriguing to me, and I'm putting it back on the TBR because I never got a chance to read it in the month of May. This is an Arthurian retelling. It sounds like there's some heists in here, there's curses to be broken, and I think we have a female main character, which is like great, always great. And then finally, I've got a second book in a series, and I absolutely loved the first book, and I felt kind of scared going to the second one, hoping that I love it as well, and that is The Atlas Paradox by Olivia Blake. I think I'm loving this author, and I feel like she has become so popular on Instagram and TikTok as well, and this series particularly is quite popular. A lot of people loved book 1, and I feel like I've heard okay reviews for this one, but people still say that book 1 was the best. I don't know, I'm still here to find out, but I always say that before going into this, I would really like to go back to reading the last chapter of book 1 because there's a very good plot twist in there, and I want to make sure that I'm remembering absolutely everything I need to remember before I get into book 2. Okay, and that is it for my list of possible books to read in June. Let me know what you are planning on reading in June. Have you read any of these books? What was your star ratings if you have read them? And if you had to kind of like give me a guide on what to pick up first, please do let me know in the comments down below. Remember to like this video if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already and you want to support this channel. Share with your friends and family, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.